just waiting for Simon to come up with something. He's trying to just dictate them points more.
Oh, nice shot. Good
Okay,
serve.
bringing a bigger serve.
What a shot.
I'm all about playing tennis to win the entire time, but when
Wow, that was impressive.
the amount of overheads that we see being missed in tournaments.
That's perfect.
See, and that. Oh, what a shot!
What a shot. All right, guys, Pete here with Crunch Time Coaching. Got Coach Marcelo Ferrer here, Windy Hill High Performance Athletic Club here, and we're gonna have a great match. This is something unique. You guys have seen a lot of. You've watched the Tennis Troll. You watch Essential Tennis. You're seeing a lot of pretty cool adult tennis matches. Now we got some high-level juniors here. Right here on this side, hitting the volleys, is Simon, the MEP killer, the most exhausting player. A lot of you guys know him. Simon took him out. Want to know? Tell us about the two players here in your program, Marcelo, who runs the program, by the way. He runs the junior program.
So we got these two very talented lefties. To our left right here, just like you guys call the, what is it, the MEP?
I call him the MEP killer.
The MEP killer. Simon Hayal, he's 12 years old, an 8.22 UTR. He corrected me today. I thought he was a little bit lower than that. Just joined the program about a month ago. To our right here, James Wakefield, 13 years old, another super talented player, very close level-wise to Simon. He's more like an 8.35, so it's going to be a battle. You know, James has been with us for about a year and a half. Simon is new to the academy, kind of getting used to the things that we do on a daily basis. We're trying to change the way he plays a little bit and change his behavior and attitude. I didn't watch his match against the MAP.
His attitude was fantastic against him. He won 1-0, so I'd have a great attitude too on that day.
Let's see how he does today.
Well, we've talked to Simon, and I think both these players are going to fight hard and have a clean fight. That's my prediction. I think we're going to be pleased with what we see out here. So, tell a little bit about your program, Marcel. What are some of the principles that you have for the kids, and what are some of the goals that they have when they come here?
What we are really trying to accomplish here, guys, obviously every academy has something special to bring to the table, and nobody's reinventing the wheel. What we are trying to do here, I'm really trying to the best of my ability to bring the experience that I was able to acquire over many years coaching in college, spent many years at Texas Tech and many years at Pepperdine, and just really try to develop a program that is using more of a holistic approach. I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but we're really trying to live by it. It's focusing not only on developing the player, but the person on and off the court. We really stay on the kids when it comes to discipline and values. We live by the whole winning together mentality, because we know how important that is in college. So these kids, they understand that the moment they step on court, they're not only representing themselves, but representing the rest of the team in the club. When somebody drops the ball and makes a mistake, misbehaves, everybody runs together. You know, they're supposed to have that feeling of winning and losing together. But when it comes to the development of the player, we have a 4-to-1 ratio with an amazing staff. We really do. Certainly there's a lot of great coaches out there, but if you guys look up the coaches that we have as part of our staff, you understand why I think we have one of the best staff in the country. But then, you know, these kids are working with one of the best yogis in the country, Andre Housley. So they have 2 yoga sessions a week. We got 2 full-time fitness coaches that really bring it with these kids every day. We're doing workouts in the pool, turf, Pilates and yoga, like I mentioned. On Fridays, they're having mental sessions. And on top of that, we have doctors and athletic trainers that have a partnership with us, sports nutritionists. So it's a pretty complete program, but I really feel like where the real difference is how much we hold these kids accountable on a daily basis. And Peter has been with us from the get-go, and he can vouch for it. It's been a very fun journey. March of last year, we had nobody in the academy. We started from scratch. Right now, we got close to 50 players every day here with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're getting ready to start the match. Go ahead, Simon. So double fault. You know, that's one
shaky start.
That's
already.
one thing. I mean, you got the camera on. All the kids love YouTube. So there was a buzz before the match. They're all going, "Oh, it's going on YouTube. Going on YouTube." So, who do you think would be more nervous out of these two players?
That's a hard one. You know, like I feel like right now, because of Simon's exposure to YouTube already, he might be a little bit calmer, even though he started the match with a double fault and he already missed the first serve here. But if I had to take a guess, I think James is going to be a little bit tighter overall.
Well, James, that was a pretty good point. Came in with a big forehand, nice overhead, even in the shade made that. So love 30. So not how you want to start your YouTube match here with Simon on the serve. Okay.
We're going to most likely see a lot of drop shots from Simon, which is not something I'm a big supporter of, and we're trying to change that. But he is extremely crafty, so he's going to take advantage of those amazing hands that he's got.
Yeah, he's got really good hands. I want to ask you about that after this next point.
He definitely needs to be a little bit more physical on the serve, because James is going to definitely take advantage of those returns and put Simon against the ropes a lot on his serve.
So you mentioned you don't like to see Simon doing the drop shot so much, but he definitely has really good hands, so you want to see that in the game somewhere, right? How would you kind of navigate between, you know, playing the way you want him to play and also the skill that he does have?
Right, without a doubt. You know, like we want him to take advantage of this talent that he was given, but the problem is he overuses it so much and he becomes extremely predictable. And because he knows he got his hands to rely on, a lot of times he doesn't move properly. So what we're trying to do is get him to understand that touch and his amazing hands, they're never going to be taken away. Let's develop some of his weaknesses so he can use those drop shots in the right moments of the match when the opponent is not really expecting. Right now he's so predictable and he does a very poor job hiding it. He shows that he's going for the shot, and a lot of his opponents start anticipating way before he even strikes the ball.
Well, Simon came out. What's kind of interesting, you know, flat is the thing that comes to mind. He comes out flat, but I think he was very excited about the match. So I don't think it was that he wanted to come out and play a really bad game. What is that when you come out flat, but you feel like you have energy, you want to play well, you know the cameras are on.
Yeah, but you're emotionally, in a sense, just tight, right? I've seen players cramp in the first game of the match because they're just so nervous. So yes, he was definitely excited to be part of this, but they both know right now we're analyzing every single point and it's going to be all over YouTube. So there's no doubt that right now they're more concerned about that than playing the match. As the match goes on, they'll loosen up and feel more comfortable.
Yeah. Good point right here. Oh. Very good point by Simon. I like the reaction. He lost the first game. He comes out, pumps his fist. I really like to see that.
So as you can see, those are the situations he's going to be able to come up with amazing shots because of his talent. Instead of going for a huge passing shot, he just massaged the ball and made James make a lower volley, which gave him the opportunity to just hit that angle on the run with the backhand. But we want him to do that every once in a while, because again, if the player's coming in expecting that massaged ball, James is going to close in a little bit tighter and be able to put those volleys away.
Ooh, tough overhead right there. He's coming out aggressive. Do you like what you see from James so far?
I do. You know, I prefer to see those kind of mistakes, but he's trying to do the right thing and take the match to Simon. Instead of just waiting for Simon to come up with something, he's trying to just dictate the points more.
Ooh, and there's a big strike from Simon. Shot across the bow right there.
I would love to see a couple more like those. But in a situation like that right now, I'd love to look at Simon and see him like on his toes, just showing James that he's ready. There you go.
There he goes.
There you go.
Oh, nice shot. That was a quality point.
Very high quality point. If you guys see in the point, you know, James ended up hesitating a little bit to come in behind the ball. And if Simon does make that dipped slice, James would have been in a little bit of trouble. And that's the type of point when you're able to move your opponent the way that he moved Simon, you got to be kissing the net at that point.
I totally agree. Ooh, Simon going big. You know, those little short balls, they're tough, right? Because they look easy, but now you feel the court closing in on you, and you're playing somebody on the other side that's fast, and if you don't do something great with it, they can pass you too.
No doubt, and I guarantee you that as he was coming up to that ball, he probably thought about hitting a drop shot.
Yeah.
And maybe realized, okay, the coaches are not going to like it too much. Let me go for it.
And he's got to hit that ball.
He's got to hit the ball, but you can tell that there was that 1 second of hesitation.
Absolutely. There's your drop shot. And the lob. And it pays off. It pays off.
And that again, that's when his amazing touch will pay off. But he's got to mix it in every once in a while so it doesn't become predictable.
Yeah. All right, so it's 1-1.
1-1, you know. It's not a break until you hold.
That's so true. Double fault. So what are the keys, you think, success for Simon winning this match and James? What do you think they have to do to win?
Well, for Simon, there's no doubt that he's going to have to do a much better job with the serve. You know, that's something that he's been working on. There's not a lot of leg drive. You know, there's really almost zero physicality on it. It's mostly him just brushing the ball and using his good wrist mobility. So he's going to have to raise not only the power but also the first serve percentage and play aggressive tennis. You know, they just played last week. James beat him. I might be wrong, but it was 6-2, 6-2.
Something like that.
And it was mostly a match of Simon trying to play touch, crafty tennis, and James took it to him. So hopefully today, especially knowing that the cameras and the coaches are on him, he understands that he's going to have to play a little bit more aggressive to be able to take James down. That's his fourth double fault.
Yeah, that's tough.
In the match. So now he's going to come down to being able to figure it out, not get too emotional. A lot of these kids, after a couple of double faults, they actually shorten their arms because they're afraid to hit another double fault, which causes more double faults.
That's a great shot.
Unbelievable change of direction.
Once it's going in play, they're both playing pretty well, I think,
they're
so
playing
far,
well.
especially with the cameras on.
They're playing well, and they're clearly trying to hide each other's forehands. You know, like they're going for the backhands more, which is interesting to see. I'm glad that we ended up getting two lefties, because a lot of times when you play a righty and a lefty, you just see that lefty banging the ball to the backhand all the time. Mm-hmm. But today they're going to have to really think outside the box because they're so used to playing righties.
All right, so this is a big point right here. It's 30 all. Got to feel good going 30 all when you have two double faults. Good return.
very short.
Yeah. Was that wide? I think it was
It was
just
wide. James could have done a little bit more with that backhand. Got lucky, but here's the thing: Simon had the chance to step in, and he did. He hit a little bit wide, but with the ball that James had, he should have done a lot more with that shot and not give Simon the opportunity to step into it. I'm thinking the ball's
break.
gonna go out. Huh?
Yeah. You thought the
I
high
think
backhand
so,
volley was
yeah.
going to. That's 2-1 James now. It's back in the driver's seat serving. Okay. Huge game right here. 2-1 James serving.
Let's see if he can capitalize now. You know, broke and got broken back pretty quickly. Now he was able to sting Simon again. Let's see if he can hold this one.
Just out. It's amazing how matches go in patterns, you know,
Yes.
whether it's a holding match, a breaking match, and it's the person.
And then
who
when
can
that
just
pattern
break through
gets
that
broken,
pattern, yeah.
yes,
then it can become a runaway train, right?
yeah, that is interesting. When you get into a holding pattern, you get super excited when you break. When you get into a breaking pattern, you get super excited when you hold.
I don't know if the people at home can sense it, but I feel like James's ball is a lot heavier.
It is, but that comes from the physicality that he puts behind the shot. The racket speed is something that we preach so much to all of these kids, and Simon is going to go through the same change in his game. Hopefully in the next 2-3 months he's going to be hitting the ball a lot bigger. He's been allowed to just kind of get away with a lot of just touchy, angled shots.
Well, I'm sure a lot of adults are still going to be watching this and wishing they could hit like these kids. What are some keys? How would you train somebody to start hitting bigger, playing more physical?
Well, first of all, is getting them to understand that the kinetic chain plays a huge role in the way they hit the ball, right? Is understanding that power comes from the ground. A lot of these kids, they get very jumpy, and a lot of times they make contact with the ball when they're up in the air, jumping up. So we try to explain to them that power coming through the ground and going through their ankles and knees, going through all the joints. So understanding body weight transfer, understanding release of the arm. You know, a lot of biomechanical studies have shown that a proper ground stroke is about 80% a throwing motion. You gotta allow your arm to just go forward. Just really pretend you're throwing your racket to your opponent on the other side.
That's a good tip.
And a lot of times these kids are not used to doing it that way, so mistakes will happen. But as they allow the swing to flow forward, throwing the racket forward, they feel the need to engage the wrist a lot more. As the wrist gets more engaged, now that ball that was going long will dip because they're brushing the ball a lot more. So it is a process, but for anybody out there watching, if you want to become a better player, you need to swing through the ball. Mistakes will come, like I said, at first, but you will make the adjustments, whether it's the point of impact. Are you hitting the bottom of the ball? Are you transferring forward? Are you accelerating the rack enough? Are you engaging the wrist? Those things, they come into the puzzle. When you're able to put everything together, your strokes are going to look pretty fluid.
Well, through that, James had a big hold.
He had a big hold, 3-1.
It's kind of a casual hold. There wasn't much resistance there from Simon in that game. So Simon's got to really lift his level here, where this could get away from him. Good
Okay,
serve.
bringing a bigger serve.
What a shot.
Okay.
What a shot. That's letting it go.
And I want him to do them more and more often in a conscious way, you know, like not in a bailing out of the point kind of way.
That's very true. It's coming to the net.
Okay. I don't mind that mistake at all for just one reason. He usually comes to those balls and tries to hit a drop shot with a volley, and we've been asking him to try to stick it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that sense yet, but he just tried. He tried to hit a little bit harder.
If that stupid tape wasn't there, I think that would have been a good volley.
Yeah.
Rough serving day.
So now we're at 3-1 with a pretty easy put away volley and another double fault. We see a little bit of frustration setting in. Let's see if he's got the ability to bounce back and at least stay in the set.
$15.30 second serve.
Toss right now is just pretty low, not really forcing himself to get up for the ball. Yeah, right now James is just really dictating all the points.
I feel like James in this academy has been one of the most improved in the last month or two. Just hitting bigger, more focused.
Without a doubt, I think, you know, he's recognized that a lot of his attitude, you know, like was something that was extremely detrimental to his game. We all know the ability that James has to hit the ball. He's extremely athletic, talented, but he struggles sometimes with his emotions. And in the past couple of months, he's just decided to take a different path, and the results have shown.
All right,
so
30-40.
I would say in the last 2 months, he's for sure in the top 3 most improved players out of all the players that we have in the academy.
That's out of a lot of good players here, guys. So.
See, but you can see the difference, you know. Both the balls are deep on both sides, but James is doing a very good job anticipating and actually penetrating on those balls. Yeah. Simon, on the other hand, is kind of waiting for those balls to come to him, and a lot of those shots he's making contact with the ball with the weight on his back foot. Yeah. So just like this last one, it was a very dirty shot, missed it wide. So he needs to do a better job with his up and back movement. If he feels like he's having a hard time holding the baseline with James's heavy shots, back up. Nothing wrong with that if necessary.
Yeah, so that's what he kind of needs, because obviously we're training for physicality, but it's not going to happen today. He's not going to hit the ball as big as James today. I don't think he can out-hit him. And it's starting to look like there's nowhere to go for Simon. That, like, where is the matchup advantage? So where is he going to find some matchup advantages against James? Are there any to find, you think?
There's no doubt there are ways for him to come back, but he's going to have to play a little bit differently in a sense, you know, starting with his positioning. Like right now he's a little bit further back, but the thing is understand his positioning on the court, but understand that depending on the position on the court, he's going to have to create different shape on the ball. Like this last couple of shots, he was further back, but still hitting as if he was playing from inside the line.
So you want him to hit a higher, heavier ball?
Just a higher, heavier ball, and just see if he can somehow get James to make some mistakes as well. I'm all about playing tennis to win the entire time, but when your opponent is playing so well and just feels confident to take every ball on the rise, you got to play a little bit ugly. Yeah. You know, just try to chip away his confidence a little bit.
Yeah, James is starting to steamroll.
Yes.
That's another part of James's game that's improved. I would say 3 or 4 months ago, a lot like Simon, where he's just kind of putting the serve in play. And then I know both you and I have been telling him, you got to be way more physical with that serve. Yes. And I think he's really starting to embrace that. and execute.
And that's the huge issue that a lot of juniors face, and unfortunately coaches end up having to face those issues with them. They'll do something that is not correct, but they end up winning some matches doing that, and they refuse to change. So James has won some good matches by just kind of pushing the first serve there. But we're trying to get all of these kids to understand that if they want to become high level D1, D2, D3 college players, they need to improve those things now when they're 12 or 13. So I prefer to see James hitting a couple of double faults because he's trying to improve his serve versus just putting the ball in the box.
Simon is scratching his head.
We're close to a meltdown here. Simon down 5-1, and no signs of a comeback in his first set. Not only credit to James for really playing aggressive tennis, and he's taking the match to Simon, but we haven't really seen any attempt of making adjustments to change the dynamic of the match.
Yeah. It seems like he's spending most of his time away from the point, just beating himself up and shaking his head. And this is the time, 80% of the matches you're not hitting the ball. So you got to really use that time in between points.
Yeah, well, what you are doing in between points determines so much. The outcome so many times of the match is determined on what you do in between. Are you talking to yourself in a positive way? Are you building yourself up, or you're tearing yourself down? And right now it's pretty clear what's happening with Simon. I would love for him to try to fight back and put James in a situation where he needs to think about that as well a little bit more. Was that in or out?
I think it was out, but I'm not even sure if he called it.
I believe he did now.
Maybe he's going to pull an old Agassi tactic when he was like 18, 19, where he would tank sets and then come back and steamroll you. Hopefully Simon's going to do something like that.
We'll see if he can do that.
He is literally just throwing it in the towel.
Right now, he's just really waiting for the set to be over and hopefully come out for the second set with a different mindset, which is definitely frustrating to see, because we want these kids to believe that one of the beauty of our sport is that there's no clock ticking. You could be done 5-0 without winning a point and still find ways to come back. But it's not just coming back, but if you are down in a set like that, you want to try to finish that set playing strong to create some momentum for the second set. But now he's coming out for the second set feeling pretty defeated after 6-1 and a horrible last game. So we'll see now if he's got what it takes to turn this into a battle, if he's going to just lay down and let James take the second set even easier.
Well, Coach, do you want to go out there? I'll fly you with the iPad and kind of have you mic'd up and you say some words to him?
Work my magic. Let's do it.
All right.
The beauty of our sport is what? No, but you gotta understand that no matter how poorly you play one set, whether you play amazing and you lose, you play horrible and you lose, that set is completely over. But you need to show to James that whatever happened in the first set did not impact you at all, because if you come out in the second set looking like that defeated, he's gonna come out believing that he can just kick your butt again in the second set. But you need to change the dynamic of the match. What I want to see from you a little bit more, make points longer. Okay, even if it's outside of your comfort zone a little bit, make points longer. I want you to show James that you can make 10, 12, 15 balls and give him the opportunity to make some mistakes as well. He might make some mistakes. You might be able to chip away his confidence a little bit, or he might give you chances to take shorter balls and come in. But I need physicality. I need positivity. I need you to stop trying to hold the baseline so much because he's playing quite heavy right now. Back up a little bit more. Show that you are able to position yourself better depending on how the opponent is hitting the ball. And make sure that you bring your heart in the second set. Okay? You got what it takes, but me just telling you that you got what it takes means nothing. Prove to me and Peter that you do. Okay?
All right, first point of the set goes the way of Simon. You gotta take these small. I noticed that Rafa, who made an amazing comeback at the Australian Open. Even Patrick McEnroe said he was down and out. It was over. He takes those little momentum points and he makes a big deal out of them to get himself fired up again.
Right. It's because Rafa values every point. He doesn't dwell in the past. He doesn't allow himself to get too far into the future. He just understands that the most important point of the match is the point he's about to play, and that is it. If you're able to create the mindset and move up the ladder one step at a time, before you realize you're on top of the building. But a lot of these junior kids, they allow the scoreboard to dictate how they behave.
I don't like that response from Simon. Yeah, I think a lot of juniors and adults, they don't realize that when you're down, how much you can still put fear in your opponent, because everybody dreams of winning matches. Every time you're going to play a match, you want to win. You want to tell your coach, you want to tell your friends that you won. And when you win a set and then you see the other person just kind of rolling over, you start to feel better and better, and then you win easy. You win a set and all of a sudden you see them fighting, then you might get a little nervous, like, oh, they're not going to go away.
No doubt. They all need to understand that all the things that they fear, all the struggles that they have, there's a very high likelihood that their opponents go through the same thing. You just need to find that button. And the moment that they find that button, they gotta keep squeezing. The one thing that is so important for all of these players, juniors or adults, they need to understand that it doesn't come down to how you feel on the court. It comes down to how you come across.
Good.
All the top players, they feel nervous, they feel tight, they feel pressure, but that's why they go to their towel. That's why they try to reset and make sure that no matter what they're feeling inside, they try to the best of their ability to hide it.
Break point right here. I believe it's a break point.
I believe so, yes. See, that's
Good
a beautiful
return.
shot. Okay. Let's see if he at least tries to make those points longer like I asked him to do.
He's definitely fighting this point.
That's already a better point.
Oh my gosh, that was huge.
Great point.
That was huge.
But you see the change in demeanor. Okay, we don't know how long it's going to last, but the grunting and the fighting for the ball is a sign of, okay, I'm gonna try to fight back.
That was the first. I think that's a good point there. That was the first time you heard him kind of grunt.
Yes.
Like that, yes. What does that do for a player? Why? Some people say, "Oh, I hate grunters." Other people say, "Oh, it's part of the game." Where do you fall on that? And what does it do and not do for you?
Well, I'm a huge believer on the positive impact that grunting has in the way we play. There's a psychological impact, there's a mechanical, physiological. So when it comes to the
rhythm, I think,
well, it allows for better flow of your swing. It is proven. There's actually research that shows that grunting adds 10 to 15% more power to your ground strokes and your serve. Doctors have told me that when you breathe in, some oxygen molecules get stuck on the walls of your lungs, and when you grunt, it's almost like you punching them through those walls, so you get that boost of energy. That's why people grunt when they're lifting weights, and boxers grunt when they throw punches. There's a lot of great research. There's a lot of things behind grunting, but for me, when I hear a player grunting, I just know that player is most likely really engaged in the match.
Yeah, engaged is a good word. And Simon, they had a nice little battle there first point, and then he gets the net cord.
Yeah, I saw that.
So-
And that ball looked like it was going to go out, and he got lucky with the net cord.
It did. Oh, that was, I don't know what he was trying to do with that ball.
But it just looked a very nonchalant shot, right? James didn't do anything with the return. You got the chance to get up 30-0, 30-love, and you just kind of do nothing with that ball. He's going after his serve.
Ooh, big rip. Big rip. He's getting pumped. He is getting pumped. This is starting to get interesting.
So I'm definitely proud of him for at least coming out in the second set, trying to do something different, playing more aggressive. The energy looks a little bit different. We'll see if he's able to sustain it. It's easy to be positive when things are going your way. You show how tough you truly are when everything is not going your way and you still have an incredible demeanor and you have your chest sticking out and shoulders up.
30 all. Okay, he's getting himself pumped. Here we go.
Here's an opportunity for James to do something and send a message.
Wow, that was impressive. James has really got a heavy forehand, and he's been hitting the spin, but also flattening it out more lately too.
Yes. So he's found that really nice balance between generating that incredible RPM on his shots.
Yeah, play ads.
So generating a lot of RPM and topspin. So he's got that bite on his forehand especially, but he's definitely able to take the ball on the rise and just pound it a little bit flatter and put it away. Oh, wow.
Ooh, he's letting it go. Oh my goodness. That was a solid
Better
point.
tennis. Better tennis.
Solid point. These are big denials from James because Simon so badly wants. He's fighting hard.
Yes.
And he wants some vindication for doing this. Well, now I know you don't like the drop shot, but he's hit two amazing drop shots.
But he saw right there, like that he was going to be able to catch James on the wrong foot. So
that was a good time.
I'm okay with that. Because I feel like he was strategically correct.
Second serve, deuce, big game.
Okay.
Hold it wide. Game point.
Here's an opportunity to capitalize on that break. He needs that to kind of put him on the right path and bring some confidence. 2-0 up, I think we're going to see a completely different Simon. And it's going to give us a chance to see how James handles being behind.
Yeah. Yeah, James for a while hasn't really shown too much negative emotion, but he can get there.
He can definitely get there, but so far he's been dominating the match, so he hasn't been in a situation where negative emotions are trying to creep in.
Oh, nice backhand. Ooh.
Okay.
2-0.
Saw a good variation.
Yes.
He played a couple of higher balls, just trying to push James back. I love the backhand down the line. I wish he took the ball a little bit earlier. He hit the ball, it looked like it was pretty far back. But again, because he's such a great ball striker, he's going to get away with some of those shots.
Yeah, lots of feel in that point. You can see. James starting to miss a
we
little
already
bit.
see. We already see. You know, like the first point of the game, rushed a little bit, did not get nicely prepared for that inside in.
Good lob. Good lob. Wow. This is really showing everybody out there that you can look at a match and think, oh, it's definitely this other person's day. But if you can just hang around, you know, no matter how this turns out, it has already shown that if you stay around and fight, good things can happen.
And it's what I told Simon in the changeover. And people need to really embrace that idea that
I think that was a winner.
we're not playing against the clock. We're not playing against the clock. You know, I don't care if you lose a golden set, you know, win a freaking point. You know, just come out for the second set ready to rock and roll. You gotta show your opponent that you're out there for the long haul. You're ready and willing to play all day.
Oh, I don't know why he thought he should be doing that.
But
What do you think of that?
Well, that right there is I'm down. I'm up low 40. Let me just be silly. You know, there was really no strategy behind that. There was no physicality.
I mean, he makes that shot, then what?
Yeah, but he came up to the ball completely like poorly positioned and tall. So now
I have a bad feeling that return
That
is
exactly, I
going
was about to say
turn
that.
this game around.
But and that's why players cannot get too comfortable. Is low 40. Remind yourself what you did to get those 3 points. What got you that scoreboard, and don't deviate from it. He did not take that point seriously. Missed an easy second serve return, and now, to be completely honest, if I had to guess, Simon's feeling more pressure than James. Let's see if James can come up with a big serve and put some pressure on Simon to bring that game back to deuce.
Oh boy, deuce.
Now, what is Simon playing in his head? Oh, if I had only been a little bit more professional on that second serve return.
You think he's thinking about that
He
point?
might not be thinking about that because he doesn't realize that he was extremely just unprofessional in the way he hit that ball. I wish he realized it the way he wouldn't do it again.
Big return.
Yes.
Yeah, that got away from him. Credit to James. Above 40, digging himself out of a hole.
Yeah, you know, and he welcomes the freebies. You know, like, keep giving me gifts. If you don't want to break me, okay, I'll hold.
I was worried he was trying too many
Yes,
hard ones already.
yes.
Sometimes you got to reset the point, don't you think?
No doubt. And understand that you gotta use variety. You gotta change the pace of the shots, and obviously everything is dictated by the ball your opponent hit, the positioning of your opponent, and the positioning, your positioning. So James hit a great shot, and Simon was so far back. You want to go down the line, change the pace of the ball. Just play a heavier high ball and reset the point.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it looks like a prideful thing.
Yeah.
I ripped 2 balls, the balls came back, I'm going to rip the third
Right.
one.
I feel like a lot of people do that. They get into a certain mode. They're like, they got to do the whole point like that. They don't
Yes.
realize when the person's kind of neutralized it back, and
Exactly.
your offense just didn't work. That doesn't mean that you can't reset it and try it again.
So he was in this great situation to put himself in a 3-0 advantage, and now it's 2-1, and James is definitely back in the match. Slightly wide.
So that's slightly wide.
Yeah.
It's a good rip.
We're gonna have to see that when we watch the video.
If I'm a betting man, I think it was this wide. I think I saw a little space there. Serving volley, and I don't know what that's gonna do. That's okay.
See, but then you gotta dissect that point and even take into account Simon's style. He doesn't have a big serve.
Yeah.
Then you have a guy who doesn't have a big serve playing against someone who's been returning quite well. Why would you serve and return?
I don't know.
Serve and volley. I'm sorry. Why would you serve and
These
volley?
last 2 games almost reminds me of like these are decisions Kyrgios would make,
Yeah,
and it's gonna come back and maybe get him 2 games in a row here.
Yeah, play aggressive tennis, play with the intention to try to finish at the net, but build the point first. So now here we go. It's 30-all. Long.
Big forehand. Yeah, hopefully after this game, Simon's going to realize against James, he's a little bit of the underdog. He does not have any points to throw away. He's got to realize what's working and stick with it.
It would be interesting to watch this match with him and get him to understand how he played the second serve return at loft 40, right? So now you think about it, he's a 2-0 loft 40. That one return changed the entire dynamic of the match, because James ended up coming back. In this game, James gave 2 wide mistakes.
Yeah.
But instead of capitalizing on that, Simon hit 2 double faults and came in behind.
Okay.
I like that James is super confident on his strokes, but he's starting to hit the forehand too down.
Mm-hmm.
The shape is not there as much anymore, and he's definitely making a lot more mistakes of the forehand in the second set.
Set up a little more heavy first.
Yeah, that's what hurt Simon big time in the first set.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish some people at home almost could be here and see James sometimes hit his forehand. It's amazing what a tiny guy he is, but that forehand is heavy when it's on.
Because he's got extremely loose arms, great joints. He looks like a wet noodle.
15 all. Nice return. Oh boy. That worked. worked out in his favor. 15:30.
15:30.
So another good look.
15:30. But again, such an important point. You know, Simon wants to do everything possible to stand this point and give himself 2 break points.
Close, very close. That one will be reviewed in the editing room. Big forehand.
But I
Goodness gracious.
love how James, regardless of the situation in the match, he's been playing to win the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a feisty competitor.
He is.
I was telling James the other week that I think he would do very well on a college team because he really gets pumped up, and he also loves to bring the energy to the other players. Like when we do game day and we're playing like Davis Cup or mock college tennis.
No doubt. James at a very young age, like we can tell already, he's got the perfect makeup for a top college player, because not only he is already a great tennis player, but he's only 13. James had his first tennis lesson at age 11. His first tennis lesson. He did drills and clinics before, but up until summer of 2020, that's when we had our first lesson together. Up until that moment, it was just really attending drills. He's a great leader. He's got no issues calling people out. He pushes people in practice, so he's going to be a hot item for college coaches for sure. He knows exactly what he did. You know, we're gonna see on the video, he just kind of shadowed what he did. There was a lot of whiplash. His head was going in one direction, his arm was going in a different direction.
Oh, good overhead.
That's a great overhead. Was that in?
No, that was in by a lot. Yeah, it was a very good overhead. And a lot of juniors and adults will miss that one.
Oh my gosh. The amount of overheads that we see being missed in tournaments.
That's perfect.
See, and that right there is lefty kind of strategy, 100%. Nasty slice, out wide, came in behind, just boxed the backhand volley.
What I love about that too is, you know, when we kind of criticized Simon for certain volleying, it wasn't really built on anything. It was like almost a momentum killer.
Exactly.
And this time he noticed Simon was hitting a lot of chip returns.
Yes.
So he's like, I'm going to go big out wide, see if he sticks with the chip return, which will be floating. And then he came in and timed it perfectly. So I think there was a little bit of more strategy behind that than maybe a lot of people at home realized. So that was awesome closeout by James. I think this game right here
this
could
game
really
will pretty much determine everything.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I would love to know exactly what Simon is thinking about right now. What he should be thinking about is just winning the next point. Okay, how do I get this 15 love? Forget about the numbers on the scoreboard, but is he thinking about that?
I feel the tough thing for Simon is he had a good opportunity and James was kind of losing his finding of the court.
Yeah.
And I think now James is locked into the court again and free points are not going to be there.
Love to see Simon fighting and staying in this match and make it interesting. Who knows, you know, like if he finds a way to make it tight 4-all, 5-all, he might be able to get James to crack. overall for set and a half, Simon, even the balls that he's hitting quite well, they're not deep enough to hurt James. I feel like James has been attacking all the time, and that's when he needs to go back to some of those, not moonballing, not at all, but play super heavy and high. Force James to move back, to give Simon the opportunity to gain a little bit of ground.
Yeah, I feel like Simon is still playing too many skippers right off the baseline, and they're not coming back heavy when he's doing it either. So I like your idea of just standing back a little bit, get your legs under it, and give it more of a heavy ball.
You know, will James be able to strike the ball as well as he has been if he's playing further back? Simon needs to try something right now. I lost track of the score here.
I think it could be game point for Simon.
Yes. There you go.
Is it? Yep, it's 3-3. That was huge hold.
That's 3 mistakes in a row.
Huge hold. Just want to make sure that red button's still going. That second serve fooled Simon.
Yeah, I mean, he had a nice kick to it. Yeah.
That's good when a lefty can also build the kick when you got the slice.
James is just really not allowing Simon to get off the ropes. He's on the ropes all the time. He needs to change a little bit the pace and maybe slice a little bit more. Keep that ball low. So if he's not going to play heavier and deeper, he's got to keep that ball low, because right now I just feel like 90% of those balls are coming sweet spot exactly.
I think you hit on something there. I mean, we talk about how Simon likes his hands, and maybe his slice backhand to James's backhand. I do notice that when James gets low backhands, he can kind of lose the feel for the ball.
He does, because he has a tendency to bend from the waist a lot, so that's when he can struggle a little bit. But it's shocking at times to see that players like Simon of that quality sees the train derailing and won't try to do anything to change it. Think outside the box a little bit, do something different.
All right, so 4-3 James.
4-3 James, law 15.
Law 15. Oof. Up 30.
Okay, this is
James starting to smell the finish line. I know these guys want to win their match on their YouTube debut, so I'm sure James getting excited. Oh, now he's kind of going back in tank mode here. I don't want to see him finish the match like this.
There you go.
Again, this is the point he doesn't realize, that if he can just put up with resistance, James might get so nervous to finish out the match. It's one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah, and it's so disappointing to see that kind of mindset when you are down 4-3 on serve.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like you're down 5-0 and you would still not justify tanking. But when you are 100% in the match, just a couple of points from bringing the match into a 4-all, how can you just simply tank and let your foot off the pedal?
Well, he did win that last point. He gave a little bit of a fist pump after, so let's see if he can save himself here. Oh, big return. Man, James is getting so much better at finishing at the net. It's crazy. I mean, I'd put a 70% on it over the last 6 months.
He really has. He really has. He's just doing a much better job closing in tighter and just not waiting for the ball to come to him. A lot of these kids used to wait for the ball to come to them and let the ball drop. So then all of a sudden they're thinking that the volleys are not good. Well, your movement and positioning are not good.
And that's the thing, you guys, I don't know, watch at home, if you can understand. I mean, James is not a big guy, but when he's coming to the net lately, he appears big. Okay, good on Simon. Okay, good. This right here is his last stand. It's 5-3. There could be some last-second nerves trying to get over the finish line. We'll see.
Law 15.
Mm-hmm. If I won this point, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see if Simon can win this point, I'd let out a big "come on, let's go!" Like, just show him you're still here. Well, that's not going to happen with that serve.
Great serve.
Great serve. Great serve.
One of the most efficient and probably least utilized serve, just going straight to the gut. Oh, what a shot.
What a shot.
We see some kids running extra outside the court because they got punished, didn't work hard.
Do a lot of running here. I've been running this week. I'm kind of proud of myself.
Yes, he has. He really has.
Ooh, good serve. Oh, see that he came in kind of casual there, coach, and didn't get the net position.
Came in pretty tall, and I think that might be the reason why is that he hasn't really had to handle a lot of low balls. You know, most of the shots that he hit at the net were higher volleys, so came in a little bit lazy or cocky, expecting the easy volley.
Ooh, Simon fist pump. I like it. This is actually 30-40.
Yeah.
So, like we said before, closing out a match, one of the toughest things to do. You start thinking about what's going to happen when you win. It's going to go on YouTube. I'm going to win. I can relax. All the other kids are going to ask me if I won.
Oh, we messed up somewhere. Yes, it was 15-40 then.
Yeah, it's 5-4. Wow. Okay. All right, coach, you head on the fort.
It's a good start for Simon here. Got the first point of the game. Okay, you can tell James is feeling the moment. He knows he's got to close it out right now, otherwise it could turn into a battle. And he's making Simon really earn every point. I don't see a lot of freebies. There's never a good time to hit a double fault, but at 4-5, 15-all, oof, doesn't get much worse than that. Now let's see if James can capitalize on it. Need to see a lot of movement, just putting some pressure on Simon from the get-go.
All right.
15-30. 15-30. Actually, no.
You said right here. What is
15-40?
15-40? Is this match point?
Yes. Double match point.
Second serve. Uh-oh. Oh, what a shot. Big.
The point started with the ball there.
I would say that was a good shot by Simon. Yeah.
Yeah. But the ball's already there. So.
They're not
Finish a match with a double fault.
I feel bad for him though, because I mean there was a lot of delay. But oh man. Well,
So 6-1, 6-4, correct?
6-1, 6-4, you know, I mean. Okay, guys, so there is our first match on Crunch Time Coaching. We might actually have this on the Tennis Troll channel as well, which is a great channel you guys should subscribe to because they do a lot of adult matches, but I think they might like to see this junior content. If you like this junior content, definitely like and subscribe this video because you'll see more. Marcelo Ferrer, anything that you'd like to leave us with today?
So much fun to do this for the first time and so honored to do it next to this legend here, Peter Freeman. You know, it's definitely something that we look forward to doing more often. You know, he came up with the idea and kind of showed me some of the content on YouTube, and I just thought it was great to be able to expose some of these top junior players, but also give the opportunity to some of the adults and other juniors out there and coaches that might be interested in seeing some of the analysis that we have to bring to the table. So definitely subscribe, follow the channel, and we will be doing this more often with many different levels and ages, so you guys can have the opportunity to watch a variety of different players. Thanks again, and if you want to check out our academy, Windy Hill High Performance Tennis, feel free to reach out to me at Marcelo Ferreira 2310. That's MARCELO F as in Frank ERREIRA 2310 at gmail.com. And come try it out, and me and Peter, we're gonna take care of you guys.
See ya! Yeah!